Good evening and welcome to the Allegheny Clarion Valley School Board Workshop meeting for April 10th, 2023. The AC Valley workshops are conducted virtually, and the link to access the workshop is always posted at the acvsd.org website. During this workshop, I will provide the school board members with information that will help to clarify agenda items. And please remember at the workshops, we're always open for discussion throughout. As a friendly reminder, please keep your mic turned off until you're ready to speak, and feel free to jump in anytime. And at this time, Madam Secretary, could you please conduct the roll call?
Patty Anderson.
Present.
Carrie Armagost.
Here.
Megan Dreher.
Here.
Brady Fight.
Here.
Diane Page.
Here.
Jeff Powell.
Here.
Jameen Stump. Eric Sundling.
Here.
Kelly Terwilliger.
Here.
Thank you, Tammy. At the voting meeting, we do have Chris Cora and Sarah Cora requesting to meet with the school board to discuss an employee. And we also have presentations next Monday from Anna Smith, Brandon Maines, and Lori Sherman about the calming spaces here down at the elementary school for our students. And at this time, I'll open it up to see if there's any board concerns at this time.
David, this is Lori.
Yes.
Can I add that Kelly Shimp will also be presenting with us next Monday?
Oh, okay,
She's our certified occupational therapy assistant.
Perfect. I appreciate that, Lauren. Okay, now at this time, are there any board concerns that we have to discuss? All right, moving into the consent agenda. I'd like to direct your attention to page 4. We have a number of field trips and conferences in front of you this evening. We'll start with the request from kindergarten, Christy Anderson, Marianne McCrell, Sarah Howe, Sandy Sherman, and a nurse, and approximately 43 students are going to Bay Tree Farms as well as the Parker Community Park. This is a yearly trip that they take. In addition to that, we have Linda Miller, who put in to attend a virtual conference for the CDT item data reviews and reading and writing. Just going to read a little bit about CDTs. I know we use a lot of acronyms within the school district, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the importance of this workshop that she's attended. The Pennsylvania Classroom Diagnostic Tools is a set of online assessments divided by content areas: literacy, math, and science. These tests provided diagnostic information and guide instruction to support student intervention and enrichment. CDT reporting system is a standard aligned system, and it helps to assist educators in identifying students' strengths as well as areas in need of improvement. The students respond by taking tests, and as they take the test, the next items are adjusted depending on their understanding of the content area. The reports are provided to the teachers, and they could use this diagnostic information to help shape instruction. The CDT is related to the student acquisition of the standards. So as we take the PSSAs as well as the Keystones at the end of the year, these tests help to align that instruction for the teachers, but also provide information about how well the students are understanding the content presented. The data is provided so the teacher can dig a little deeper. They can even use the information to flex their groups within the classrooms. The teachers can use this information for ongoing formative as well as summative assessments and determine where the students are making progress and where they're struggling. So it's really important that Linda is not only selected to help out with that program, but also she's able to bring the information back and share it with her colleagues. We also have a request from Tracy Hartle, Peggy Plowman, and the Do Something Good Club with 14 members to do a roadside cleanup in Callenberg. This is a yearly program, and Tracy works closely with PennDOT to ensure that everybody's safe amongst that trip. Jessica Namali, she resubmitted her P&C conference request. Her and a group of teachers from the elementary went to the Kalahari Resorts for a conference, and she failed to submit her mileage reimbursement. So it's $157.20 that for auditing purposes, we put back in front of the school board for formal approval. In addition, we have Allie Atwood and 17 students going to the Foxburg Free Library. There's book talks, which is part of the curriculum, and practice hosting an event. On page 5, I put in for my yearly legislative trip. Just keep in mind that we'll be going out to Harrisburg as part of the Northwest Superintendent Summit, which was founded in 2015 for the purpose of educational collaboration. We had our summit, and there's 101 school districts, 6 intermediate units, and over 190,000 students that are represented by this group of superintendents. We come together and we also discuss and create talking points. We create a sheet that each of us can utilize when we're meeting with local and state representatives. And not only do we sit down and have an open dialogue as far as our needs in Northwestern Pennsylvania, but we also provide them with examples and information that can help them when they're making voting decisions, not only on the budget, but cyber charter reform, the multi-county tax rebalancing formula that we're asking for a change, and a host of other items that impact our students. In addition to that request, we also have Megan Bashline, Michelle Eiler, Tammy McGarvey, Wanda Shabak, and 10 students going to the Cranberry Mall and Wendy's in Seneca and the Mineral Springs and Emlenton. This is part of the curriculum for the life skills and autistic support classroom. We also have a request from Tracy Daly, Christy Seipel, Sarah McCord, Jen Jordan, a classroom aide, 48 students, and going to the Parker Community Park for a reward for the backpack program because students did so well raising food for that program. And then we also have Minnie Loeb, Tracy Patton, 18 students going to West Freedom for a cemetery cleanup and community service project. And that's all of our conferences and field trips. Are there any questions or information needed to clarify any of those agenda items? Okay, Aaron, you could go back up to the consent agenda. You can notice under letter B, we do not have any substitutes in front of you, but we do have an annual request from the East Valley Youth Football and Cheer Organization. Utilize the high school football fields, practice fields, school restrooms, concession, ice machine. And they're planning to have their annual youth football programs, practices, and games. The season starts July 24th. They're up there every night, Monday through Thursday, practicing, working with the kids to condition them and keep them safe. And then also there will be various games here on campus as well, depending on the schedule. And Paul does a really nice job working with him and ensuring that we have all the clearances for the adults here on file. Moving down to finance and purchase, we have a number of items that we'll discuss in detail during the voting meeting, but I'll direct your attention to letter I. That's a motion to purchase a 10-passenger van using the ESSER 3 grant. Similar to the Equinox, we've been waiting on this van to be made. We have money in the ESSER 3 designated for the school van, and we just want to have the permission to move forward and purchase that van to add to our existing fleet. Once we purchase that van, we'll keep the current van that we have, an SUV, utilize them during the day for student and staff programs, as well as our vast extracurricular activities that we have going on with the students. On the top of page 2, letter J, we have a motion in front of you similar to last year, asking for 1/3 of the software program to reimburse for real estate tax collection from Jennifer Pollock as well as Janie Showery, and that's $116.60. Last year was the first time that we reimbursed them for our third of it. Letter K and L go together for the high school money market and student activities account. We're making a motion to remove Courtney formally from those accounts and add our new part-time district-wide secretary, Emily Shoemaker, as she continued to transition into that position. Letter M is a motion to increase the cost of breakfast and lunch for the Jefferson County Head Start Pre-K Count program. Breakfast will be increased by 5 cents and lunch will be increased by 20 cents. So for the 23-24 school year, breakfast will be at $2.10 for this group, and lunch will be $3.75. And letter N, similar motion, we're asking to increase the adult participation at the district by 5 cents for breakfast and 20 cents for lunch. This will take breakfast to $1.90 and lunch to $3.75. And Stacy will be with us on Monday the 17th to provide a little bit more detail as far as how she comes up with those prices and why we're looking for a request in those particular areas. Letter O is a request from Megan Kerr from the Clarion County Tax Claim Bureau. She's asking for us to no longer request a formal motion to approve any kind of exoneration for trailers, porches, decks, and sheds, something of $500 or less. And over the years, I don't recall when we had any of those last, but with this motion, that would just expedite her work, and the district would see a very minuscule change within our tax collection. Letter P, we are working on the budget for the 23-24 school year. Governor Shapiro had presented his preliminary budget. We'll present our preliminary budget to the school board next Monday. And part of that budget will be a review of the fund balance and our expectations. Just keep in mind that when Mark Turnley was here, the school district auditor, he provided us with information on our historical perspective of the fund balance. In the 2017-18 school year, we had $7,356,724 in the fund balance. 2018-19, we dropped down to $5,290,379. That was a change of just over $2 million. But just keep in mind that that was the year that we took on the district energy saving project, the Act 39 energy efficiency project. And that project itself cost us $1,742. And no, let me start over with that. That project cost us $1,742,399. That was a planned project. Our fund balance at $7 million was very healthy at the time. We had a number of projects in and outside of both buildings. And the school board did a lot of work and decided that it was time to act on those projects. And ever since that project, including the fair funding formula, which was instituted in the 17-18 school year, we started to trend the opposite direction. So by the end of the 2019-20 school year, we had $4,563,223. Do that one more time. $4,563,223. So that was a change of $727,000 in the deficit. Our cyber costs continue to go up, and our new money from the state continue to decrease because of that formula. And then that showed at the end of the 2021 school year as well, we had $3,693,791, which was a change of $869,432 in the red as well. And then for the 21-22 school year, we ended up with $2,854,336. And that was a change of $839,455. And just keep in mind that each year our cyber cost was just about the same as our deficit. And as we continue to think about raising taxes, that's something that we need as a school board to decide, how we offset those costs. And we really need to get out there to talk to our local taxpayers that as we increase these taxes, our money from the northwestern portion of Pennsylvania continues to be spread out to cyber schools that are continuing to fail across the state. So please, let's do our best to educate everybody out there as far as the detrimental impact of cyber education, and do our best to bring kids back to AC Valley. As we send kids out, last year we had 39 kids out, and it was right around $800,000 that it cost our taxpayers to pay for these educational programs that, our students and our staff and our wonderful program here at AC Valley continues to be, operating in the deficit because of that. And we'll continue to ask for cyber charter change, and hopefully we can balance our budget in the near future. And then with all that being said, our final motion under finance and purchase letter R is a discussion about increasing the taxes on the 23-24 school year budget. And just keep in mind that Act 1 only permits us to increase our taxes to a certain percentage each year. And this year, we can go up to 5.5%. So I know Andrea has been working on this, and she shared information through email with the school board members that are on the call tonight. And I'd like to open it up for discussion. If you have any kind of direction, or we can take a deeper dive next Monday whenever we present all the specific information as far as the revenues and expenditures too. We continue on with the budget discussion next week. I'll present a preliminary overview through a PowerPoint, and then Andrea will take time to break down the detailed line items amongst that budget. And we'll share with you what the budget looks like, and ask if there's any recommendations for cuts, any kind of recommendation for tax increase. And, we'll move on from there. And just keep in mind that we'll continue to adjust that budget in May. And by June 30th, we have to submit it to the state, whether the state budget is passed or not. So we're still not exactly sure how much new money we'll be getting, depending on the formula that you look at, how much money Shapiro is putting into it. We could be increasing by about $147,000 right now. And those are just rough numbers coming from the state.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is Andrea able to break the projected piece down by millage in terms of the amount of money any increases might be projected?
I can tell you that if the vote would be to raise it to the index, it would bring in approximately $185,000 in additional revenue.
Thanks.
Good question, Patty, and thank you, Andrea. Any other questions about the taxes or the budget at this time? Okay, moving into
sorry.
No
processing. So, Andrea, can you tell me how many taxpayers that represents?
Hey, Dave.
I can't tell you that right now. I'm sorry. I just don't have that information with me at home.
That's fine. I'll send you an email, and maybe that'll help me process too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the finance and purchase or the budget itself? Okay, under personnel, we do have a FMLA leave request from employee number 370. They'll be out For 12 weeks, they're going to utilize all emergency sick and personal days as well as FMLA leave, beginning on October 9th, 2023. This employee will be returning October 9th, 2023. And letter B would be for employee 334 for the beginning of the 23-24 school year. We have to post to fill a long-term vacancy at the elementary school, and that employee is to return mid-November once their FMLA is exhausted as well. And then moving down to instructional services, I'm going to have Lori speak a little bit on this. We are looking to put a new science book series in front of the school board for formal approval in April, and we're working with Andrea right now to add that to the budget. Just know that the overall cost of a new textbook for grades K through 6 is not cheap. But with that being said, it is much needed down here at the elementary. It's been a good number of years since we replaced that text. In addition to that, the new science standards here within Pennsylvania was recently adopted. So the timing is absolutely spot on. So this time, Lori, is there anything you'd like to add with the science textbook series?
Just that we did have a presentation from the representative from a series called Amplify, and we were very impressed with that. And I did give that financial information to Andrea. That is the way that the team seems to be leading right now. We did have another series called, I want to say it's Inspire. And it's just, we've been trying to have a presentation with that gentleman. He had a death in his family and had to cancel. And then we had our electricity outages that canceled the meeting that we rescheduled. So I have been working with him to reschedule, and I'm hopeful that that's going to happen this week. Although we do have a busy week at school, and covering the teachers is my obstacle, but we're trying to make that presentation happen so that we can, for sure make our final decision before next Monday's board meeting. But like I said, they do seem to be leaning towards the Amplify series. They were able to speak with some teachers at a local school who uses the other series, the Inspire. And based on their reports, they were not very pleased. Like they're not using that because it doesn't meet the NGSS standards the way that it needs to. So that is kind of making us leery of that series. But we do want to listen to what they have to say, and maybe they're making changes before we commit to Amplify. But Andrea does have the financials on Amplify. I gave her the highest amount if we ordered like all of the things that they recommended. But after we look at that, if there are things that we decide we don't want in the packages, it could come down, but she has the highest possible amount that it could be.
Lori, this is Patty. Can I ask, I know that textbooks typically run so many years behind. So is there concern that you're going to hit the same thing with this other one, or have you physically seen all the pieces to it?
We have, and I will bring a grade levels worth of those next week so that you guys can see them if you'd like to. There is not like a textbook with this. It's more of a like a kit built series. Okay. So there are little tiny booklets kind of that go with the kits, but then the kits have all of the things that they would need for each of the units, and the units are phenomena based the whole way through K to 6. So it's a very different looking kind of science program.
Totally understand. I completely am on board with what you're describing.
Like I said, yeah. I will bring some things next week if anybody wants to look at them. But yeah, it's not like your traditional hardcover textbook with chapters.
Great. Thank you.
Sure.
I may add that Lori did use a textbook rubric with her team, and they met with 3 different vendors. So we do have that information on file as well. Moving down through instructional services, we do have an agreement in front of the school board to partner with Bridge Builders to create an ACV foundation. Been working with solicitor Zach Shekel on creating our own foundation. So we could go in one of 2 ways. We can apply to be a 501c3, come up with a name, create a board, basically create an account associated with that, conduct formal business. And there's a lot to that. We've been working on that for quite some time, and some additional cost to the district as well. Well, additional cost, but just keep in mind, this is separate from the district budget. So this route, as well as the bridge builder route, has been discussed amongst Andrea, Zach, and myself. And our recommendation is to work with bridge builders. Just keep in mind that they work underneath an umbrella. We'll have our own account set up. We'll create our own committee, which will consist of 1 school board member, 1 administrator, 1 teacher, and 3 community members. We'll do our due diligence to raise money through fundraising and getting the word out. And bridge builders takes care of all the paperwork associated with it, and the cost associated with that is 1%. So that's basically 1 penny on every dollar raised. And they've been doing that for a good number of years. They have a number of contacts out there, and has already presented information to me about a potential grant that we could use to renovate the football field. So I think that partnership right there could be something that's really beneficial to the AC Valley District program. So it can help supplement the current programs, and we'll have our own mission set up and such. Zach did look over the contract from Bridge Builders, and we made a couple recommendations. So our final contract will be in front of you on the 17th for approval. And again, since this is separate from the school district, we had a little bit of debate whether it really even needed to be approved by the school board or not. But just to get it on the board minutes, we do have the contract in front of you. And once we approve that, then we'll create the committee and start diving into it, because we have a number of projects here on campus that need supported, as well as other curricular activities that we can create scholarships for kids or support teacher development and such. So I'm really happy about the meeting and the contract that we have in front of you for Bridge Builders. Are there any questions about that particular motion before we move on? Okay, on the top of page 3, we do not have any policy in front of you, but if you recall that there's been some changes in home education programs. So I've been working with PSBA, and we will have new policies associated with that. And we're very happy and proud to present that our homeschool partners will be able to attend AC Valley extracurricular as well as curricular programs, and these policies will help to clarify how that's going to take place. And then probably most importantly, at least from my perspective, is the fact that a number of these students can actually attend our career center and acquire skills and knowledge to help enhance their educational pursuits. So more to come on policy. Mark will be here next Monday. He'll present some information on facilities. And at this time, I'll take us down through transportation, and we can rely on Lori if anything needs further clarification. The first item is a transportation protocol, and this will be associated with our vehicles that we plan to purchase, as well as the current ones. It's for employee as well as approved volunteers. We contacted our insurance carrier, and the process that we will be following, and Andrea does have a copy of this, and all our copies will go out to the employee and volunteer asking to drive the vehicles. But the process is each employee and volunteer will submit their driver's license to the business manager prior to driving the vehicles. The business manager will keep an updated list and submit this list to the insurance agent for an extensive background check to ensure that there's no driving violations or anything that would inhibit the safe use of those vehicles. All approved employees and volunteers using the vans and SUVs will be responsible for self-reporting any and all accidents and/or law-related infractions to the business manager within 2 days of said incident. So that's the protocol that we'll be following and work with the insurance agent with, and we're happy to put that into place. Moving down through, we continue to build the budget. We presented information to the school board in March, and at this time, we're ready to move on making some recommendations. So for the 23-24 school year, at this time, we have over 50 students signed up to go up to the Career Center. If we need additional support, we're looking to add on a van. So we will keep the current Clarion County Career Center bus run with Bailey Transportation, one bus at $155 per day. The second motion is the increase to the state formula for the buses that we run. Keep in mind that last year it was 6.560%, and for the 23-24 school year, it will be 6.986% of an increase. We reviewed the information that Lori had, and our extracurricular transportation rates will remain the same because we're right in the ballpark of the other schools in the area. And that includes $2.56 per mile, and then a $9.31 per hour wait time after 2 hours, with a minimum trip of $92.60. And then finally, we are asking to increase the rate of the van transportation from $1.61 per mile to $1.65. That will be a little bit more competitive with the other schools in the area, and also give the van drivers a bit of a boost for the 23-24 school year. Are there any questions about those transportation related items before we move on? Moving down through the
David,
yes, Lori.
this is Lori. This is not in relation to any of those. I wanted to give time for questions about that. Dave came to me tonight and said that he is having an issue April 12th with junior high baseball. Us or Union do not have a bus to transport. And he asked me what he's to do in that situation. And I guess I'm just coming to the board. Are we asking parents to transport? Are we looking to, Shrivers, Campbell's? This is just sort of a new dilemma, and I want to make sure that we handle it appropriately.
How many
Lori,
students
could
are
we
there?
use any of our van drivers to cover that?
That's where I was going, Kelly.
Dave's right here. How many students, Dave?
Oh, it would fit in a van if they'd be willing to handle it.
Like
Pam
my vans that transport
I think-
have 6 or 7.
I think Pam can haul in their big van. I think there's enough that they would need a big van.
Okay, so we go to our van contractors first. He said that Pam Myers has a big van that hauls 10 students, 9 students, so that might be an option.
I think that should be the first right of refusal.
Okay, what if our vans aren't available?
If the vans aren't available, I would try to reach out to some other bus contractors. I have a couple contacts I can try to reach out from, but they're, I don't know how cheap they're going to be. I doubt they're going to do it for the current rate. They might just say, we'll do it, but it's going to be a flat rate, higher than expected. But if we're in this situation, I mean, it is what it is.
It would be definitely be at their rates, but
Lori, is this for practice or is this for a game?
it's a game.
My personal preference would be the van drivers.
Okay. Yeah, he
We
said that
have enough contractors that hopefully, we can find one of them that would be willing to do that.
Yeah, Pam Myers is the only one that has the big van.
Well, even if it were multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I can try. They're not always, I only have an extracurricular contract with Pam. I mean, I could reach out to the others and see if they would like to do extracurriculars.
Does she have more than one van?
She does. It's just a matter of getting drivers in the evenings.
Sure.
Yeah.
How many did you say in total you were going to need? Or how many students, let me rephrase it. How many students did you say were going?
At one point, I think there was 14, but I don't know.
Dave's saying he thinks there's 14 possibly.
there's still-
He's not sure if that's still the number.
Oh,
And you
okay,
said it's
okay.
baseball, right?
Junior high baseball. Yeah.
Okay. So even if you didn't use the 10, 2 minivans would do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely try our van contractors, but if I can't get it there, do we then move to like a Shrivers Campbell type situation?
Are
I
we
would say
counting,
yes.
and are we counting our school van in that count?
It's not available.
It's not available.
Our school van's not available?
Nope.
No, because there's so many things being transported.
Okay.
Is there a possibility to leave it open to parents if they'd like to transport? Like, say the parents going to the game already, could we leave that option up to them?
I don't even want to go there because I've received personally so many complaints. I mean, that's our job. You know, I don't really want to open it up to parents.
I think it's better to transport them as a team as well.
I do too. I guess I'm just saying, like, if this is a one-off type of situation, how are we
You
gonna
know, Dave said it's just the first time that it's going to happen. There's going to be other situations.
I think you definitely
mean-
need to talk to maybe the other van drivers or the other van contractor and see if they would like an extracurricular contract as well, because if this is gonna come up a lot, we might want both of them on board.
I think that's a wise move as well.
Could I put those before the board next Monday, or would I have to wait till May?
You can do it next Monday.
Okay, I will reach out to them then, and if they want them, we'll get them ready for then.
Does that include the coaches riding with those kids as well?
He's shaking his head no.
So how, if you take vans, how do the coaches get there? Do they arrive on their own?
Either that or we include them in the count for how many we have to transport on vans.
We'd have to-
Gotcha.
I would like to see them included in the count because I mean, every other time they go to a sporting event, I'm assuming they just go on the bus with them. Is that right?
Correct.
And I
Okay.
think they need to be included in the count from a chaperoning perspective.
Okay.
Plus, do you need room for all the equipment? So you may need more than 2 vans.
Yes.
It depends on how much behind the seat space there is.
I mean, can't couldn't one of the coaches in theory take one of the trucks or the truck and the trailer we have if, you know, space for the gear is an issue?
Yes, for the equipment.
So I don't know, I'd like to see that done. Look at the van contractors. If they need to take a truck and take a trailer with them, that's fine.
Okay. I'll work on that. Well, I'll have Dave work on that.
Thanks, Dave and Lori, for all your hard work and trying to make this work.
Sure.
Okay, moving down through the agenda under miscellaneous, we do have the Career Center report, and we will have to approve the 23-24 Clarendon County Career Center budget. Just keep in mind that we take the overall operating budget, we divide it by the number of students, and then that's broken down per school. So for the 22-23 school year, we have 44 students going up there, at least we projected that at the beginning of the year, with a overall budgetary cost of $356,717. And for the 23-24 school year, Tracy had us down at 54 students, many thinks around 50. So with the current budget of 54 students, we may get some additional homeschool kids coming in. It's going to cost us $405,983. And that's a projection. And just keep in mind that at the end of the year, the budget is reconciled. So if we have more students go up than budgeted, we will have to pay more and vice versa. If we have less at a time, we may get a kickback on that. So those are numbers. And again, we'll cover that next week with Andrea. I just wanted to provide that information to the school board at this time. And we don't have anything under old business, but new business. I've been working with the Pennsylvania Department of Education as far as our most recent closure. So we had 3 days that we had missed due to severe storms in the area. We all know we lost electric and we struggled mightily. With that being said, I had contacted the Bureau. I completed a emergency request form for all 3 days, submitted it. It was denied. They sent it back to me. I talked to the Secretary of Education as well as the PASA supports that we have out there, Sherry Smith. And we modified some of the language, put in more details and resubmitted it. It got taken to the Pennsylvania Department of Education legal team, and according to them, it was denied. It was denied because we had not utilized all of our building snow days. We didn't utilize the first 2 days after graduation, and we can get days in before the end of June. So with that being said, we are needing to make those days up. And as I said on my last school messenger call that went out, we'll be using May 30th and 31st for 2 days of makeup. And then Michelle Austin, our PIMS coordinator, and myself sat down today and took a look at the number of minutes that we have here on campus for our Career Center students. And because of the drive going up Career Center back, the number of days, we're going to have to utilize June 1st as well. So I'll modify the calendar. I'll continue to communicate this out to our community, but these days are in need of making up. We're going to use a full day on May 30th, full day on May 31st, and a half a day on June 1st for the students. And then it'll be an Act 80 day for the afternoon for our teachers. And then if we need Friday, June 2nd for an in-service day, we could use that as well. So I did work on that. I was hoping to get those days waived, but according to the Department of Education, those are unable to be waived if you have additional days at the end of the year to make up. And then just finally, before we break and end the workshop and move into an executive session, I do want to let the school board members know that we've been working on the safety grant. We have that submitted. There's safety money coming in. And I'm also looking with my staff as far as the potential of adding any kind of metal detectors, whether that's going to be, the step in the right direction or not. We discussed it at the most recent safety committee meeting here on campus, but we're going to present some information. Hopefully we'll have some quotes back by Monday. If not, that'll come a little bit later on, but we're working on that. So are there any questions from the school board members at this time before we break and move into an executive session to discuss personnel? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and log off. And school board members and Andrea, just keep in mind that I did send you out a Zoom link, and talk to you here just shortly. Thanks, Aaron.